Meditation for me is something that's really important for my mindset, for my brain, because it's in my brain where the things are wrong, and I just feel like meditation is one of those strengths that you can add to yourself to sort of help yourself, you know. And I feel like there's been times when you've done, because you sent me that daily practice audio bit, and I've actually felt times where my head has started tingling afterwards. So I feel like it actually is actually doing something for me. So
yeah, meditation is really popular now. It's been a part of my life since I grew up. Mum and Dad, Mum was a practicing Buddhist as I grew up, which was a bit unusual in the early 70s. They weren't full-blown hippies, but they certainly hung out with a few. Yeah. and back then, I guess it was quite experimental. Everyone was looking for, enlightenment, and I guess today, in the 2020s, meditation is still seen as something to aspire towards, a meditative state, and unfortunately, that's why a lot of people don't do it. It's there's the noun, the meditation, the state, the one with the universe, the enlightenment, the self-realization. And then there's meditative practice, which brings me to the daily practice. Daily practice is a very simple, so just to be clear, the verb of meditation or the practice of meditation, there are, particularly nowadays, you do a Google search, there are thousands on the App Store, audio files. What makes a meditative practice and whether or not you persist with it is a bit like the parallel would be physical activity. For physical activity, you can run, you can swim, you can lift weights, and I guess for your mental strength and ability, whether you're looking to focus or whether you're looking to release anxiety or stress or whether you're looking to use your mind as a tool to heal yourself, you wouldn't walk into a gym, pick up a dumbbell, do it a couple of times, look at your arm and go, oh, that doesn't work, I'll never do that again. And unfortunately, meditation can sometimes go in the same basket. You'll hear people say, I can't meditate. I sit down, the teacher says, don't think of anything, and so I think of everything, and all it does is stress me out. No. And that's where, I guess, the daily practice came from. So teaching particularly youth meditation, there's just some really small key areas, and we talked about mindfulness just before when the audio was off.
It's still on.
And it's
such a kook.
Mindfulness is a great introduction into focusing on one thing, because two things have to be clear in the practice of meditation, whether it's mindfulness or colouring in or gardening or jogging or Tai Chi or laying down and burning incense and repeating mantras. The first thing is that you're not your thoughts. Right? Let's be really clear on that. Thoughts are things you think. Just like your body can sit down or lift weights, or that's not who you are. That's just something your body's doing. And your mind is the same in that what your mind does is not who you are. However, if you don't, I guess, appreciate the detachment from your thoughts to who you are, what you think becomes your identity, it becomes your reality. And sometimes people who are suffering mentally, their reality or their identity is they're unable to separate that. And that's where meditation is wonderful. It sort of very much teaches you to separate from what you're thinking. And one way to do that is to channel your thoughts into one of your 5 senses. Unless movie buffs, you have 6 senses, we know. But
I don't know about that. But struggling to find my 4 senses.
So what am I feeling right now? What am I thinking? What am I looking at? What am I smelling? What am I listening to? What am I tasting? What am I touching? These are just obvious little sensory cues that we can tune into, and breathing is an excellent example of that. Which is where the daily practice comes in. It's a nice, easy way to start exploring a couple of simple meditative techniques. Now what that does to your heart brain through the vagus nerve, it puts it in a state of what we call coherence, or a lot of the research refers to as the relaxation response.
It does, like you definitely, the sensory, like it's sensing, it's something that, as you said, like, the cold air in your nose, the warm air coming out, the nose hairs, that sort of stuff, like, definitely attuning you to what's going on in you.
And what it does by definition is it empties out all the other stuff that's worrying you or that you're focused on, and so forth. And that's, the impact of...
Still going. Sorry, Shiike. I've just ruined this whole conversation.
It's great, because it needs levity. Like it does. When the going gets tough, the tough either laugh or they cry.
Yeah, or their battery runs flat.
We can do it on Zoom.
Yeah.
We have the technology.
Yeah.
Just listening to the quality of your words is reflecting the quality of your thoughts.
Yeah.
And of course, as the Buddha, or this gets accredited to Lao Tzu or Mahatma Gandhi or Buddha, watch your thoughts. Watch them because they determine your words, and listen to your words because they determine your actions. And be aware of your actions because they become your habits.
Yeah.
And be aware of your habits because that becomes your character. And be aware of your character because that becomes your legacy. That's ultimately what you leave behind. You'll think whatever your mind throws up at you. And it loves distraction. It loves drama. It loves tragedy. It loves... in fact, even though it's not the best thing for you, it loves leading you down the path of self-gratification and so forth. And whilst that's not necessarily in everyone's best interests, but if you can... So I guess the crux, particularly in the ancient traditions of where we're going, is that the mind is seen as a wonderful servant. It can serve you really well. It can give you positivity. It can give you focus. It can give you equilibrium or like an equanimous approach to disease, for example, and or achievement.
100% agree with that.